because we got to start a show. I don't know who the hell you think you dealing with. Ain't gonna shut me up. These people know who I am. I refuse to be muted. I refuse to be quieted down, whether it's by the oppressor or by an impressor. I meant to say whether by something external or internal, but I couldn't think of nothing. But you ain't gonna shut me up. I'm gonna continue what it is I say. Yeah, go ahead. Yo, welcome to Conversation with the on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I'm your host, Second Daddy. I like how I was saying, I am so sick. Oh, you just gonna keep playing the music. You a trifling ass engineer. No, like like I was saying about the Kansas City Chiefs and about the NFL. I am so sick and tired of them using reasons on why not to pay these dudes money. The NFL is literally like a reverse Chick-fil-A. They make so much money, they give you 6 days off and only play you on one day. It's just like Chick-fil-A.
Like 2 now or 3, so maybe sometimes 4.
Come on, man. They could have paid Tyreek Hill that money. I'm telling you, bro, I'm a fan.
Wait, hold on. You expect that the Kansas City Chiefs, which pretty much is right now the new premier legacy team of this current NFL generation, to pay not only your franchise quarterback, one of your second face of the club, which is a tight end, and then you want to throw in a receiver who's got speed demon on. So that's 3 top tier guys that you have to pay almost over $100 million a year for, which is pretty much half the franchise.
Yes.
No, you cannot do that.
Yes, you can. You know who I blame for this? Here's the
reason why you can't.
Go ahead, because I got butter for your ass. Go ahead.
You can rebut if you want. How many times has, unless either one of them, meaning Mahomes or Maotto, they'll have to reduce their salary. Pretty much they have to reconstruct their contracts so that way they can give that X amount of money back to Tyreek Hill to keep. They're not going to do that. They're not. I know for well they're not going to do that. So
I blame Travis Kelce. No, I'm dead ass. I blame Travis Kelce. If Travis Kelce's ass had started dating Taylor Swift 2 years ago, she could have helped them come up with some money for Tyreek Hill. Because good and goddamn, she ain't got no kids, so she ain't spending it on diapers or formula or nothing like that. She could have broke them off a couple million to pay Tyreek Hill. I blame Travis Kelce. It's his fault. It's his fault.
For his fault for at the time dating a black woman?
See, you took it to a place that it didn't need to go. Yes, but you took it to a place it didn't need to go. Now, technically, he could have dated. Well, Beyonce's married. Nicki Minaj is married. Who's a super Oprah has been with Stedman for the past 45 years? There's got to be a uber rich black one. No, Rihanna's with ASAP Rocky, and they keep popping out babies ASAP. Yeah, maybe that is. So he should have dated Taylor Swift 2 years earlier, so Tyreek Hill would have had the money instead of going to Miami. I blame Travis Kelce. And to me, I think everybody should join in with me because a black dude is blaming a white guy. Everybody should jump on that bandwagon. I blame Travis Kelce.
Okay.
If the Los Angeles Dodgers can come up with $700 million to pay a Japanese baseball player, you're trying to tell me the NFL couldn't find a couple million to play a black man who already speaks English and doesn't need a translator?
You know how much the Chiefs are currently paying Mahomes?
How much?
$439 million a year.
They ain't paying him $439 million a year.
Let me correct that. $439 million is total contract. If it was $1 million a year, that'd be great.
Right now and ask Patrick for $20.
Yeah. So, but yeah, okay. $70 million for a year for the next 10 years for Ohtani. So Mahomes is getting roughly, I'd say, 43 million for the next 10 years, because I know he's going to be there for the next 10 years. So
listen, I'm a Tom Brady fan by no stretch of the imagination. But the one thing I do respect about Tom Brady, that nigga took more pay cuts than that white dude on Office Space who kept complaining about his stapler.
True, because
Tom Brady kept taking pay cut after pay cut after pay cut for bums. None of the receivers, with the exception of Randy Moss, that Tom Brady played with for 40 fucking years, are on the level of Tyreek Hill. And he kept taking pay cuts. To keep them there. Y'all got Tyreek Hill and y'all can't take a pay cut for him?
Nope.
You deserve everything you get.
Keep in mind. If you think about it, pretty much it was like early on in Mahomes' contracts.
Very
early. So, but the thing is, yeah, you wouldn't be able to keep him. No, you wouldn't.
Man, shoot. You don't come across niggas called cheetah. Okay? They done call, trust me, they got enough animals they done call black people. Okay? Cheetah ain't one of them. And when you come across a nigga who's called cheetah, you don't let him go.
Well, we'll see.
Man, you don't let a nigga named Cheetah go. I'm sorry. Especially for this dude. Especially for Flavor Flav's son. Kadarius Toney looked like an athletic Flavor Flav. Not coordinated, because if he was coordinated, his ass would have coordinated with the ref not to be offsides. Man, let's go ahead. Man, how was your weekend? Because mine was shitty. I don't even want to get into my weekend, bro. I'm serious. I don't want to get into that shit, bro.
Mine was fine. I, of course, worked. While I was working, I saw my Ravens win. And I got
the Super Bowl, nigga.
And got to see one of my favorite movie characters again in a new movie, Godzilla. No, Godzilla. So
hey, she do devour some towns in her heyday. In her heyday, she was tearing some towns up.
Yeah. So, but all in all, it was nice, simple weekend.
That's what's up, man. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. As y'all already know, we start off every show with my favorite segment, This Nigga Here. And this has got to be, today, the most satisfying This Nigga Here moment ever on Conversations with Comedians. Roll it.
Look at Tom.
Man. So let me go ahead and give y'all a rundown. Charleston White was doing a comedy show, I think in Texas. And somebody was insulting him, talking about, basically saying that he wasn't good. And we'll get into the comedy aspect of it later, because I'm so sick and tired of people thinking just because you make your mama or your friends laugh, all of a sudden you a comedian. But somebody insulted him saying, yo, we didn't pay for this. Charleston White pulled out a stack of money saying he already paid for it. Dude got up, got upset. Charleston White was calling him all sorts of pussy ass niggas and everything, and then tried to hit him with a bouquet of flowers from 1-800-Flowers. And all of a sudden, I guess security works by the minute. I don't know. They get paid by the minute. I don't know. So if you miss a payment for 5 minutes, they just let you get your ass rushed for 5 minutes. Because the whole front row jumped on stage. The whole front row. Now, as somebody who just came from seeing the legendary Dave Chappelle, all right? We couldn't make, if Dave did do something to make people run up on stage. I saw the people that was surrounding that stage. You're not getting Dave. You're not reaching Dave. That one dude who got the Dave back in LA, that nigga was an agent of evil. Like, he was a ninja. And I don't even mean that as a substitute for nigga. He was a ninja, how he made it to that stage. The fact that the entire front row hopped on stage at this nigga's comedy show and proceeded to whoop this nigga's ass got this nigga happy. Because I'm going to tell you right now, B, Charleston White has been asking for an ass whooping since he stepped onto the scene. And what's so aggravating about a dude like Charleston White is, have you ever seen that movie Troy?
Yeah.
There's a part in it where Achilles' character, played by Brad Pitt, is talking to Paris. And not Paris, but the girl. I think the girl. And he explained to her why the gods envy humans. And she said, I hate you even more, basically, because you're intelligent. I could give you pity if you were a brute. The reason why I dislike Charleston White so much is because Charleston White is actually a very intelligent person. He is very intelligent. Like, if you've actually heard him speak, he speaks with conviction, he speaks with fervor, and he speaks with a poignancy that can only be given to somebody who really and truly has intelligence and common sense. What people dislike the most about him is that he's a sensationalist. You know what I'm saying, B?
Let's put it this way. I do agree with that. He's just stirring up some mystical pot that he created for himself. I never heard of him until a couple of weeks ago.
Damn. That nigga has been all over the internet. He like a cross-eyed Andrew Tate. He's like a cross-eyed Andrew Tate. Every time you turn around, I don't care what algorithm you have, that nigga shows up.
I understand that, but he's not on my radar, and I don't need to see him on. Based on the reason why he's on my radar right now is because of yourself or anybody else that I follow or watch keeps bringing him up. They want to talk about him, and really, to me, it's like the guy, as like you said earlier, he seems intelligent, but he's not. Because the idiocracy that he's doing proves my point of why I do not follow him. Because I
don't follow him. He just shows up on my shit.
Regardless, because there are people who do follow him. There are people who want to hear what he has to say. But let's be honest, he really doesn't. There's nothing there for me wanting to hear what he has to say. Or I mean, mind you, if he's a comedian, if he's
please.
He's not. Wait, based off of what you're stating, he's not.
He's not, bro. Like, there are people out there that ain't comedians,
right? So T.I.
See, now this nigga, we see.
I stood on business right there. Anyway, but like I said, I just feel like I don't know whatever he has to say. He has issues with other people. That's his issues.
He got issues with everybody, bro. I've never seen somebody so maligned. I've never seen somebody so maligned before, bro. Like, he takes issue. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be so honest with you. The one thing I will say about somebody like a Charleston White and what plays into it is that the people that he talks about, the T.I.s, the Deion Sanders, all of them, he knows they will never roll up on him. That's the reason why he keeps speaking the way he does about them. He know T.I. ain't gonna roll up on him. T.I. got too much other positive stuff going on. Same thing with Primetime. So he has the carte blanche to sit there and speak as recklessly as he wants to about them. The truth of the matter is this. I believe his security guards wanted his ass to get whooped.
Probably.
I really and truly do, bro. Because there's no way on God's green earth the entire front row jumped on stage. The entire front row jumped on stage. Not one person, not two people. There was like 5 or 6 motherfuckers that jumped up there. I truly believe the security was like, yo, this nigga got to catch this work a little bit before we go and help him. He got to catch this work a little bit. He got to. It's almost like, have you ever seen that scene in Dead Presidents where Lorenz Tate starts to beat up Terrence Howard with that damn pool cue?
Oh yeah.
And he's like, hey, wait a minute. Keith David's character is like, wait a minute. Let him catch this work real quick. Then they went over there and then they went and got they pulled the Dead Presidents on that nigga. Wait. Yo, shouldn't we go up there and get wait, you gotta catch this work. You gotta catch this work real quick. All right, now let's go get it. Like, all right, let's go now. Them niggas was playing double dutch. Oh, when should we go? That's what them niggas was doing. Oh, double dutch and security guard ass niggas. This nigga here, bro. But I tell you this much, man. Eventually, it's gonna catch up with him. And I just pray somebody got all their bars on their cell phone so there is no blockage. Just saying. Next up, we want to go to, I was actually debating on which one I should put first, but this is probably one of the most unique videos I've ever seen. Roll it. I said roll it.
What's going on? What? Go away! What are you looking at? Sit down! Why are you here? Sit down! So who are you? Stop touching me. What are you looking at? You, I see you be fucking away from me. Okay, go away. I'm not going to touch you. He has to miss y'all. I need you guys to help me calm him down. What do we do? Why you don't point at me? Don't point at me. You hear me? Sunshine, you make me happy when times are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Don't take my sunshine away. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when times are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. So don't take my
Sunshine away.
Nigga, stop singing that song. Yo, man, you go first, bro, because I'm trying to get my thoughts together. Because I don't want to offend the dementia community. If they even remember I said the shit.
Oh, Lord. One, it kind of reminds me of the second Avengers movie where Black Widow tried to calm down the Hulk. By sort of like giving him, calm down and, soothe those.
What you did was give him some pussy. Because I'm trust me, I'm my calmest when I bust a nut.
True, but
okay, so that's what she should have did.
Well, she can't have
continue.
But anyway, I felt like I have no problem with this video. I think the woman, probably his wife, I believe, or some relative,
end up with like her. She looked pretty good. Did he forget that they was married? How did he end up with her? I don't
know. I mean, but honestly, whatever got him upset, she did the smart thing to calm him down, and having everybody, singing together is normally not a lot of people would do that. So, but seeing that, it's a feel good, especially this time of the year. So I have no problem with that.
All right, I have a few issues with this. First and foremost, I truly believe that I do. And hopefully, like I said, I don't offend the dementia community, but if I do, they probably won't remember this podcast, so I really don't care. My first issue is with Spirit Airlines. Y'all act like that. Y'all act like we don't know that's a skit. That's a skit. because y'all been getting bad publicity for years for your subpar service. Yeah, it's so much of a skit. They put a white woman in there. I ain't never seen no white stewardess work for goddamn Spirit Airlines.
They're called flight attendants.
Nigga, just because you say administrative assistant don't mean you are less of a secretary. That's a skit from Spirit Airlines. Y'all ain't fooling nobody, and I'm still not gonna fly with y'all. Okay? What y'all should have did as a skit, what y'all should have did was either make sure your pilot's a piss test, or y'all got them cookies that Delta hand out. Maybe, just maybe, people will start to get back on your airline. But we don't give a damn about y'all allowing somebody to sing a lullaby to their husband. Secondly, how all these niggas sing in the right key? How all these niggas sing in the right key, Brian? If it ain't a skit.
I mean, it's you. I don't know. It just happens. It's a harmonizing song.
I have been in church choirs my entire life. The most famous church song of all time is Jesus Loves Me. This I know. I know Jesus loves me, but the Sopranos don't know the key they supposed to be in to sing it.
Okay.
But all of a sudden, everybody on Spirit Airlines knows to sing in C# to help a dementia dude not go crazy.
Yeah.
And number 3, for all of you people out there that want to give props to that wife, for all of y'all that want to give props to that wife, talking about, oh, look how patient she is, look how much she loves him, look at the lengths and extent she'll go through to make sure her husband is safe. You want to know why? She's with him for the money. She is waiting for this man to sign over his will to her. Because I guarantee you, wherever she's taking him, his children disapprove of it. Yeah, ching, ching. She ain't fooling nobody. She ain't fooling nobody. She is tired of flying on Spirit Airlines, and her ass wants to fly on JetBlue. But the only way she can do that is if Gerald has a heart attack, or he has dementia, right? He got dementia.
Yes, he has dementia.
He forgets to breathe.
That I don't think it's a never mind.
I'm just saying, man, y'all killing me with this. And
earlier you had to ask me if we have two livers and one kidney. So
yeah, I did ask that. I did, but I know one thing she knows. I guarantee you, they got 2 summer homes and 1 winter home that she is waiting to put on the market once man, come on. The whole plane knows the words to "You Are My Sunshine," and they all sing it in the right key.
It's a known song. You are my sunshine,
the goodness.
my only
That's what you want to do.
You make me happy when skies are gray. Everybody knows that song.
That nonsense up. She ain't fooling nobody. That was a skit. And man, I'll put it to you like this. How come that shit didn't work when Webby came out with that song called "Give Me That" a couple years ago? Girl, give me that. Oh, how come that didn't work? Because I showed up. If I was single, I go around and sing that to every woman I want. Girl, let me tear it out the frame. Girl, give me that. Girl, give me that. How come that don't work? But we can sing "Give Me My Sunshine," and all of a sudden he happy. I'm serious. Hey, single man, go and start singing "Give Me That," and see if that didn't work.
Until you get dementia and in your future whomever sings you that song, then we'll get the proper results.
What, bro? Trust me, dementia don't gotta wait. There's some shit out there I wish I could forget right now. There's some shit I wish I could forget right now. Trust me. You know what? We're gonna do a show one day on shit we wish we didn't know. That's right. What do you let's see right now? What do you think? What would you like to forget, Brian? Dementia comes to your house and says, Brian, I want to take away one memory. What would it be?
Donald Trump's presidency.
This nigga here. Ask me.
All right. If you had dementia, what would you like to forget?
Everything. Every goddamn thing. Everything. Because everything in my life has led me inevitably here. So yes, everything.
Okay.
Yo, man, speaking of married couples that are waiting for one to split up, Cardi B and Offset have announced that they have split up again. And according to Cardi B, she has been single for a minute. Now, knowing that there are 60 minutes in an hour and 24 hours in a day, I would like to think that Cardi B's been split up for more than just a minute. I think she's been split up for a lot of minutes. Maybe she has dementia and only remembers the last 60 seconds. I don't know. But your thoughts on Cardi B and Offset, bro?
I really don't have any. Good luck to her. You know, mind you, I think she can be fine on her own. So, I mean, pretty much she has been for a minute. So, you know, but all honestly, I just feel like, okay, so, you know, she has 2 kids by him. You know, if he wants to go off and do other things, that's fine.
How long did we think this relationship was really going to last is the question. Let me explain something to you. There are 3 hip-hop artists that are married that have lasted the test of time. Snoop and his wife, LL and his wife, Ice Cube and his wife.
And don't forget T.I. He stood up in business.
All right, T.I. too. You're right, T.I. too. Every time there's an interview done with those couples, especially the wives, they refer to their husbands as Calvin, Todd, and O'Shea. We still don't know what Offset's real fucking name is. Why? Because Cardi only knows him as Offset. That right there should let you know the relationship wasn't going to last. See, it's one thing for us as men not to know if that's your real hair, that's your real eyelashes, hell, if that's even your real booty. But there's no reason why a woman should marry a man and not know his real name.
I think she knows his name.
You
have to put it on the birth certificate of her kids.
She probably put Offset on there.
No.
Okay.
They won't allow that.
Okay. I have seen interviews with Shantae Broadus, Kim Jackson, and Simone Smith. They have all referred to their husbands as their names. She has never sat up here and said, yeah, me and Snoop met in Long Beach, or me and LL met on the block and farmers, or me and goddamn who's the other person? Me and Ice Cube. No, she says O'Shea. Why? Because they know their names. True. Because they're like, after all this glitz and glamour fades, nigga, you gonna be Todd, bro. After you smoked all the weed you can, you're going to be Calvin, nigga. Like, come on, bro.
I get what you're saying, but let's be honest. There are times, especially in this modern day world.
Oh, not the modern day world.
Somehow, I think with these two, I mean, I really think he just wants to be, every time, especially out in public, he just known as Offset, and he wants to remain that way.
Nigga, listen. My mama has never called me Mr. Perspective. ever. My mama's called me Doug, Dougie, or for those closest, Boo Boo. Okay? She has never called me Mr. Perspective. Beyonce has never called him Jay in public. Maybe on stage, but it's Sean. It's Sean, nigga. Sean.
I know that. Again.
Okay. Have you ever heard Cardi call Offset Leroy?
Is that his name?
I don't know, but it's a hell of a guess. She ever called that nigga Luther? No, she's called that nigga Offset, which means that either A, that nigga don't have a real name, or B, his real name is embarrassing.
I have it up. I want you to see if you can
say. Guess what his name is?
Yep.
All right, you got to give me the first and the last letter
of his first name.
Yes.
K for the first letter, and the last letter is I.
K and I?
Yep.
K and I?
Yep. His first letter of his first, this is his first name, it starts with a K, ends with an I.
K and I?
Yep.
I was expecting you to say something like K and K or K and T. K and I? I don't even know the male name. Where?
You have the till the end.
Where's he
from? It sounds Southern.
Is there an apostrophe or a hyphen in it?
No apostrophe, no hyphen.
How about a capital letter in the middle?
Nope.
What?
It is. Here's how it's spelled. It starts with a K. The next letter is I, A, R, and ends with an I. Kiari.
Yeah, I call that nigga Offset too. I call that nigga Offset too, bro. I don't even know how the fuck you pronounce. How do you even pronounce that?
Kiari.
Kiari?
Kiari.
Like Ferrari, but with a K.
Yep. Well, that's how I'm pronouncing it. I could pronounce it wrong.
Yeah, nigga, your name Offset, bro. Your name Offset. Because that has got to let's run through rappers' real names: Snoop, Calvin, Dr. Dre, Andre, Kendrick Lamar, Kendrick, Drake, Aubrey, LL, James Todd, T.I., Clifford. Give me another rapper.
Fresh Prince.
Will. This nigga's name can't get it right. What is his name?
His full name is, I'll give you a full name.
I want the full name.
Is Kiari Kendrell Cephus. Cephus.
Is it? Kiari Kendrick Cephus?
Yep. Cephus.
KKC or KKS?
His last name?
Yeah.
His last name is spelled Cephus.
Yeah, nigga, your name Offset, bro. Your name Offset. Yeah, I take back everything I just said. Your name Offset, bro. God damn. I'm gonna tell you right now, I've said it once and I'll say it again. I believe black people, black parents, more so than any other race of parents, determine their child's future. Solely off the name. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, perfect example. We'll go gospel. Your name is Hezekiah Walker. Nigga, you could only be a gospel singer. You can only be a gospel singer. There is no way you can say, hey, welcome to Wells Fargo. My name is Hezekiah. Would you like to talk to one of our bankers? No, nigga, I want to talk to your mama. And I want to know why she did not sign you up for all county singing at First AME Zion Baptist Church. Because you should not be in Wells Fargo with a name like Hezekiah. I'm just being real. I really and truly believe Black parents have more of an outcome on their child's occupation than any other race of people in the world. Any other race of people in the world. Because we automatically know Asian people are going to be good at math. We automatically know certain shit. But if Black people, that shit is determined by your name. That nigga's name is Caiaphas. He could only be a Sadducee or a rapper. Isn't that his last name, Caiaphas?
I would spell it again. Cephus.
You spelling it ain't gonna make the pronunciation easier for me. His name is Ferrari Caiaphas. That nigga could only be responsible for the death of Jesus or a rapper, which technically is still the responsible for the death of the church. So he literally could only be a Pharisee or a rapper. I'm just saying, man, Black people, we gotta do better. We gotta do better. We got to. Because like I said, there's only certain names, like certain things, like for Creflo. You hear a nigga named Creflo, what do you think of? A pimp. He's either a pimp or a preacher. And nowadays, they one and the same. Could you imagine him? Hey, this is inside the NBA on TNT. I am your host, Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, and on the very end is Creflo. Like, it don't work like that. I'm just saying, bro. Black people, we gotta do better about these names. We really, really do. That's all I'm saying. So I'm sorry to hear about Cardi B and Offset setting it off. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. If you know a nigga's real name, that's when your relationship will last. I truly believe people, if you hear somebody who always refer to their wife or woman as baby or something like that, that's because that nigga don't like her name for real. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, moving on.
Yo, getting to it, man. Hey, there's been a lot of drama in the podcast world over the past week. If you haven't heard, It Is What It Is by Mase and Cameron. Shout out to Mase, Cameron, and Stat Baby. Have gone back and forth with the Joe Budden podcast with Joe Budden, Ice Ish, Queens Flip Parks, and Melissa Ford, who is at the center of all of this setting it off. Now, to give y'all some backdrop, Mase and Cameron had a show where they were talking about how they went up into a whorehouse, a den of ill repute, and how they were underage, and one was receiving oral while another person was handling business and all this other stuff. So it got to the Joe Budden podcast, and they brought that up, and Melissa Ford, in her gaslightingness, sat up there and said that, or insinuated.
I have her report. Hold on.
The girl, so it was funny. Mel was looking at us like, so what you think about it, Mel?
Like I said, it is clearly locker room talk, and y'all should be able to say whatever the fuck you want, refer to women however you want to. Is that meant for public consumption? Like, considering what we've just been listening to, stories upon stories of women coming forward and talking about the fact that is not exactly the way that I remember that story happening.
All right, continue.
Now, later in that interview, she insinuated that there's possibly underage females in this place. Immediately it triggered the ire and the disgust of the male podcasters on there. Pretty much Joe saying that what she was doing was disgusting. And I totally agree. Because to me, what she was insinuating is that Mace and Cam was possibly taking advantage of underage females. And in this day and age, as sensitive as things are with the lawsuits that are flooding in, that is something that you don't even insinuate, indicate, or imply without rock solid, hard evidence. So Cam and Mace trying to take the high road, which I'm very impressed, especially with Cam, because Cam is Petty LaBelle. Cam is King Richard Petty.
Oh, I got his pettiness. You want to see it?
No. They first took the high road and said, Mace, we never taken advantage of anybody, blah, blah, blah. They tried to defer it. They tried to deflect it. But then I guess Cam came out with another post later, and roll that post.
We in the whorehouse and all that shit. Talking about we slid a bitch, all this shit. Cool, whatever. I see a clip where on Joe Budden's podcast where Melissa Ford is talking about, it might have been underage girls in there. First of all, I only like older bitches. Second of all, it was 1992. We was underage. That's A and B. We wasn't supposed to be in there. We wasn't 18. I just turned motherfucking 16. I ain't even defending myself on that nonsense. You're not even from this country. I don't know what the fuck was going on in the whorehouses in Canada or wherever you from, or whatever pedophile shit they on, wherever you from. We not on that. I ain't even going into that. More of the story, she said it. Knowing the times we in, Joe Buttons and them went in on whatever. They're like, yo, that's some serious allegations, this, that, and the third. But they didn't edit it out. So from two things I take from that, they either threw her under the bus or they said, fuck it, let's get the ratings or whatever they want to do. Either way it came out, it could have been edited out. It wasn't live like I'm doing live right now.
All right. So, and then they finally came back and Joe, now Joe, and I'm a fan of Joe Budden's podcast, but he has a tendency to always kind of walk back his stances. So now all of a sudden he says, I ain't going back and forth with you niggas and all this other stuff, which Joe Budden has always gone back and forth with people. Like, I don't know where all of a sudden this higher plane comes from. But what got me the most out of it was her co-host started to apologize to Melissa Ford as if they did something wrong or they left her hanging. And that to me just seems kind of strange, because why are you apologizing to somebody who literally went out of their way to reach for something that wasn't even there? Like, literally, Melissa Ford, I ain't even gonna front. There was a time period growing up when I saw Melissa Ford and I thought God couldn't have created nothing finer than Melissa Ford. I ain't even gonna front. When I saw Melissa Ford in that Knock You Out video by Jadakiss, I literally tried to knock myself out. Like, that's how bad Melissa Ford was. But ever since Melissa Ford has been on the Joe Budden podcast, she is probably one of the most hypocritical and contradictory talking heads out there. And that is saying a lot. But she really and truly is. And for people who think I'm trying to troll, I'm not. That's not my MO. I'm just somebody who speaks the truth. If you look at Melissa Ford, perfect example. I remember Melissa Ford had an issue with the fact that video vixens were not highlighted during the 50-year celebration of hip hop. Somebody tell me what contributions video vixens made towards hip hop. Because remember, these are the same women. Hold on, wait a minute. These are the same women who take an issue with men objectifying them because of their bodies. Let's be for real now. These are the same women. And I've heard Melissa Ford even at times lament this. But yet her entire relevancy has been built off of her God-given attributes. So somebody explain to me, how does that work? And to sit up here talking about women, that video vixens should get the same praise as somebody like a Queen Latifah or MC Light or a Yo-Yo or the vast other beautiful, talented black female MCs out there, is literally like saying people go to McDonald's to see Grimace. It literally is. It's like saying Grimace is as important to selling Big Macs as Ronald McDonald. Nobody has ever cared about that purple motherfucker. And if they took him off, if they took him, the Hamburglar, or the rest of them off, as long as they got that big ass clown, they will still sell hopes and dreams that the ice cream machine will work when you come up in there. So if you remove every video vixen in the history of hip hop, are you trying to tell me all of a sudden hip hop gonna fall?
In that era, yes.
And man, stop it.
No. I'll tell you why.
You froze. You froze.
How many people waited to see any video you can think of that had a fine ass woman on there, just to hear the lyrics again?
Brian, you breaking up?
I think it's your end. I saw you freeze. So, but let me say this. Melissa, yep, there it goes. Doug will be back in a moment, but I will state this for a fact. Yes, video vixens are, I think, highly essential. It seems like you can say Melissa is contradictory, but I feel like, yeah, they should be well noted because thanks to them, they heightened the artists' videos more so than you could ever imagine. So, hello, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Sorry. So, like I said, I was saying this. Even though you believe Melissa was contradictory in the statement of video vixens should not be part of hip hop, they should, because No,
I didn't. Wait. I didn't say they shouldn't be a part of hip hop. I just don't believe they deserve a section or should be celebrated on the level of the MCs, the DJs, the producers, the graffiti artists, the breakdancers. Because real talk, because I guess my biggest issue with it is you can't have it both ways. You can't sit up here and say, let's celebrate video vixens, but then turn around talking about how over-sexualized our culture is, or how all they want to do is sexualize you.
What country are we in? The most contradictory country in the world? I mean,
we need to offset that shit.
So, well, it's Kyrie. Anyway,
but I guess my biggest issue is this, going back to the beef. I don't like the fact of the matter that it seemed as though they backtracked how they felt. I don't like the fact that they backtracked and felt like they needed to apologize to her, because she's the one who unsolicitedly put her faulty accusations. Like, think about this, Brian. You got people literally and truly coming out of the woodworks from 30 to 40 years ago accusing people of egregious things. You don't think somebody will come out talking about, yeah, I was in that house with Cam and Mace and blah, 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 yada, 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 because you've given them an avenue to do so because of this?
Well, here's the thing. He just admitted the fact that he was underage. So technically, whoever he had contact with could probably be sued for statutory rape.
They in a whole house. Them, they ain't got no money. They ain't got no money.
But still, the point is
they ain't got no money.
True. But let's put it this way. Based off of what Melissa said, I don't think it was, mind you, is like, it was probably the first time she heard it, just like anybody else has. And your assumption would be, yeah, that feels like, figuring it was like, could have happened a couple weeks ago. not knowing the fact it was almost 30. So again, your quick assumption is kind of valid in a sense, but due to the fact that like you're hearing something and you want to quickly comment on something. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that you are saying something just outrageous, but then again, it's like it's based off of the time.
Sensationalized, bro.
You can say sensationalized if you want to, but then again, if you're hearing something for the first time and not knowing when this event happened, you're commenting on an event that happened, who knows when, without any context of stating when this actually happened. Oh, I remember, you didn't hear Cameron say, well, 30 years ago, I went to a whorehouse. No, he literally just said, we went to this whorehouse a while back. And a while back could have been, again, a month ago.
But you're literally solidifying my point in how disgusting what she did was, and why I have such
okay, for one, let me say this. I've been following Melissa Ford's career for a long, long time, and especially through her podcast career. This is her third podcast she's been on. I love her own. When she had her own, you would have really got the sense of who she really is. And being on Joe Budden, I think for her, it's like almost like her being back on the Hollywood Unlocked. It's just a bunch of ratchetness, bunch of silly talk, and all that stuff. Which is, if she feels comfortable with that, that's fine. I am not a fan of Joe Budden. I never watch his podcast. I don't really care. But the thing is, I really like Melissa. She's a very intelligent person. And
I want that. I would never call somebody stupid. I've never called somebody. I don't know. I don't know her intelligence level. All I know is from what it is I've witnessed since she's been a part of this podcast, she has a demeanor about her that screams of hypocrisy. It does. It screams of hypocrisy. And this is by no means an indictment on her character, because I don't know her. And I think people need to start saying, instead of attacking who people are, attack what they say. Because you don't know who this person is.
Right.
So I'm attacking strictly what she said, because I have an issue with you. Say what?
No, but what I understand the fact of, if you, especially for this topic,
in this day and age, you cannot make a flippant statement like that.
But then again, if you're trying to have a conversation with people who, again, want a reaction out of you, because pretty much it got stirred by the guys on the show. Pretty much it's like, hey, what's your reaction, Melissa? Based off of what they did, what you had, like, 4 or 5 guys on there and Melissa Ford. And everybody,
but she did not have to go that far to insinuate. Like you said, she didn't even know the year, time, or the age that Mase and Cam were. She didn't know none of that stuff.
Like
she goes to insinuate that all of a sudden, because she goes to insinuate that there were underage girls in there. And then what makes it even worse is the fact that later on they said, well, have you ever been to because Joe was like, I don't know what it's like with the whole houses up in Canada. And she's like, well, I've never been to one. And they're like, well, then why are you speaking on it? Why are you talking about something you have absolutely no knowledge about? Okay. And that's what we live in today. There are, like, perfect example. It goes to the greater story. It kills me that women will sit up here and tell a man what it's like to be a man, and not nan one of them have ever had a scrotum. None of them have ever had a scrotum. None of them have ever none of them have ever done anything that a man does, but yet they will tell you what being a man is like. You had a woman right there, once again, contradict herself. You're going to sit up here and say fervently, I bet there were underage women in that whorehouse without knowing anything. And then turn around and they ask you, well, what are the whole houses like in Canada? Because she's Canadian. What are the whole houses like in Canada? I've never been to one. Then what the hell are you talking about?
Again, based off of current information nowadays, for her to make that statement, probably yes, there probably were underage children there or women there. he was even, Cameron meant to admit the fact after the fact, stating he was underage there. So again, you're trying to get an initial reaction off of a statement that was presented to you. So
you don't think that's irresponsible though?
If again, based off of what? These are not professional journalists, not either any of them.
It's not about it being a professional journalism, bro. It's about responsibility.
That's what professional journalisms are about.
It's just about being professional, period. Would you want somebody insinuating anything about you? Honestly.
You can turn around and give them proper facts if they want it. I've been in people ensued about certain things about myself, and it's especially some far off shit. But the thing is like, hey, if you want the actual truth, come to me, come to the actual source. The thing is like, here's where I have the problem with this shit. My problem is the fact is like, these are podcasters bitching about another podcast show over some bullshit that either everyone wants to have a weird reaction to. That's all it is. And you're beefing over who said what and how it's said and why it's said and all that stuff. I feels like this is ridiculous. If you guys, this here is a podcast. I always tell people that remember the fact that once this mic is on, you are speaking your truth about how.
Not the your truth, my truth shit. There is only one truth, the truth.
I'm not giving that type of speech. What I'm saying is like you're speaking out there. The fact is like, hey, you're going to tell people how you see the world is. How other people are going to receive it depends on what their mindset is at the point in time. So, like I said, when Melissa heard that video clip or audio clip of what Cameron did, you get the initial reaction of her statement, how she responds to it. Now, if Cameron wants to be petty and bitchy and saying it's like, oh, you're from Canada, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
So it's Cameron's fault?
No, what I'm saying is this. You have to fully be prepared of how people are going to react to what you're saying, what you're saying about your truth. That's
Bro, I'm all down for reactions, but that was an accusation. That wasn't a reaction. That was an accusation.
Alleged accusation.
Yes, that shouldn't have been made. Because there was literally, like, listen, with R. Kelly, there has been rumors about R. Kelly's ill stuff with underage girls since I was in middle school. Okay, and I'm not talking about guilt or innocence. I'm just talking about the rumors. Even with Puff, with Bill Cosby, all of that stuff. There have always been rumors of stuff like that. But when it comes to this with Mace and Cam, bro, to jump off that ledge into an empty pool, hoping that there's water in it, is unnecessary. It was totally uncalled for. It was unsolicited, unprovoked, and unnecessary. And to me, what takes it even further is you got a black woman sitting up here levying a false accusation against two black men who are doing nothing but minding their own business. That's what angers me. You literally and truly tried to put a dark cloud over two positive black men who, honestly, Cam and Mace, and shout out to Mark Lamont Hill for doing this. Cam and Mace should be praised even more. You're talking about two black men who had a 20-year beef, who settled it the way it should have been settled. A phone call between them, and that's it. Instead of all of this dumb shit. That was true maturity in hip hop that we have been clamoring for decades. They actually showed it. And instead of more people praising them and following their model, we got to sit up here and talk about dumb shit like this because somebody wants to sensationalize and gain views. Come on, man. We got to do better. I said it once and I'll say it again. As a community, we got to do better, bro. We got to do better. We got to treat each other better. We got to do better by each other, especially if we want to sit up here and bitch and lament about how the powers that be do us. We got to do better. We got to do better. That to me was trifling. That was trifling by Melissa Ford. And that shit to me, whatever cool points, and I know I'm probably minuscule on her list, whatever. But as far as it goes with me, man, until she gives a for real apology, because that BS apology she gave was exactly what it is, BS. Until she gives a real apology to Cam and Mace for even insinuating that, Melissa Ford is whack to me. And I stand on that. I stand on that. She's whack to me. Because she didn't even need to say that. She didn't even need to say that. So she whacked to me, bro. She whacked to me for real.